Good morning, real estate enthusiasts. Good morning, real estate enthusiasts. Welcome to Real Estate Matters, live on Super FM 92.7. I am your real estate expert and host, King Ray Realtor. And today I have a guest with me in the studio, globally recognized Mr. Frank Oti, NAR, National Association of Realtors Global Ambassador, all the way from LA, California, Los Angeles, California, live in our studio today. And today we will be talking about noise, traffic, security, and privacy, plus air pollution, and the true cost of mixed-use development and the possible future of Nigerian cities. I know last week we had a very exciting conversation around this. We'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to dive right in. Hello, okay, welcome back to our show, Real Estate Matters. We have with us the globally recognized NAR Global Ambassador, that's National Association of Realtors Global Ambassador, Mr. Frank Oti. Yes, let's put our hands together. Yes. We are all super excited to have you in the studio today. It's good to have you with us today, Mr. Frank Oti.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
So, Mr. Frank Oti, I'm just going to go through his profile.
Compliments of the season to both of you.
Thank you.
Compliments of the season to you as well. Compliments of the season to everybody. Okay, so Mr. Frank Oti is the accredited buyer's representative with NAR. He's also CIPS, a certified international property specialist. Amongst other titles, a realtor with over 33 years of experience. He's currently the 2026 Global Real Estate Liaison for the National Association of Realtors. Mr. Frank currently serves as an NAR Global Ambassador to Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Uganda. Currently sits on the Global Alliance Advisory Board and has been a member of the NAR, National Association of Realtors Diversity Committee, Leading Edge Advisory Board, and the CIPS, a Certified International Property Specialist Advisory Board. He is a proud RPAC major donor and a recipient of multiple global awards from NAR, Africa's bilateral partner. It is really exciting to have you in the studio today. NAR, National Association of Realtors, is the gold standard and ultimate blueprint for organized real estate. It was founded in the US in 1908, I believe, and it has about 1.5 million members globally, and is involved in all aspects. That is, real estate professionals involved in all aspects of real estate, residential and commercial. Something similar to the NIEVS, that's the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. REDAN and REDAN, that's Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, and FIAPSI, that's International Real Estate Federation. They seek to regulate and professionalize the local industry. NAR is known to set the global benchmark for how real estate business should be conducted. NAR are the bilateral partners of AEAN, that is Association of Estate Agents Nigeria. And in Nigeria, I'm just going to deviate into a fun fact. Although a lot of people erroneously call themselves realtors, but globally, internationally, the term realtor is globally and federally used. I believe it's also been trademarked by NAR.
Yes, sure.
Okay, is globally used, internationally recognized, used to identify real estate professionals who are members of the NAR association. It is meant to be a badge of trust that separates professionals from agents. So, Mr. Oti, please tell us a bit about NAR. I know I've glazed over the surface, but please tell us a little bit about NAR, National Association of Realtors.
Thank you so much. You did a fantastic job, Ray. You should be proud of yourself. So, National Association of Realtors, like you said, is the biggest and probably the largest trade organization, if not in the world, but at least in the United States. And we are known for advocacy, code of ethics, the highest level of professional practice when it comes to real estate. We advocate for private property rights, homeownership, affordability,
yes,
and we support and encourage laws and bills that promote homeownership and private property rights. So we are the go-to authority when it comes to housing policies, production, and of course the practice of real estate, both in the United States and globally.
I know NAR is in almost every country in the world currently. Or you have bilateral partners?
No, not yet, but we are working on it. We are in over 88 countries, and with bilateral partners, with over 100 bilateral partners around the world. So we're moving in. At least we're in Nigeria.
Yes, we are in Nigeria.
That's right.
So for those of you who want to be formally and officially and internationally recognized as realtors, the way to go is to register with AEAN, that's the Association of Estate Agents in Nigeria, and then be registered with NAR, that's National Association of Realtors, where you get your practice number, you get sworn in, you get your PIN, your realtor PIN, because I know someone has asked me about my realtor, my very glittery realtor tag before, and you can only get this when you become an actual and practicing a registered realtor with NAR. Okay, so we're going to go into today's topic on mixed use, residential piece, commercial balance. It's a continuous conversation. And it's something that a lot of callers joined in last week to join the conversation. By the way, to join today's conversation, our lines are open. Please call 080-509-20927 or 080-250-27711 or 080-297-88003, or you can send a WhatsApp message to 070-569-00927 or 090-37142793. Oh, 798. I got that wrong. Okay, 798. Oh, the calls are already coming in. Hello. Oh, we lost that call. Okay, so I'm just going to ask a question because I know that there were a lot of calls last week about the use of commercial properties or commercial units in residential areas. How is the balance managed with National Association of Realtors, in California or in the U.S.?
In terms of what?
In terms of commercial use and residential use and mixed use properties. So
in the United States, when we talk about organized real estate, that's what NAR is involved in. So if you don't get involved in organized real estate, it's very chaotic. So everything is zoned and planned.
Yes.
So there's zoning, there's planning, there are standards, and of course there's ordinances that control these things. So it's not very chaotic. So you have residential areas, what we call single-family residences, which is 1 unit to 4 units, whether it's a building or townhome, condominium, and those are strictly zoned for residential. Now you can be having liquor stores all over the place. You can have commercial activities in those areas. But if it is like a mixed-use zoning,
Yes.
then you could also have those things, but also there is some distance between the residential areas. So the city might or the county might say you cannot have a liquor store or a nightclub
within certain
within
areas.
certain distance
Mm-hmm.
to the residential areas. So in putting those other activities, you must, the city is not going to give you a license to cite those activities near the residential, even though it's a mixed use. Now, you could also have a building that has commercial, residential, offices in the same building.
Mm-hmm.
That's a mixed use.
Yes.
Now, it's also organized for certain levels, maybe from ground level to like the 5th floor. You have activities.
So even within the same building, it's
That's
going to be categorized as, oh, this amount of floors can be for this use, and then this other floor.
Absolutely. So you could have parking at a certain level, maybe ground floor to the 3rd floor.
Yes.
And then you could have a grocery store, a commercial store on the 4th level. And then you probably have offices from the 5th floor to maybe the 7th floor.
Mm-hmm.
And then residences from the 8th floor to maybe the 30th floor, as the case may be. So it's very organized. It's not chaotic, you know. Yeah.
And I think that order is something that we now need to see how to reflect here in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
I know during the last episode, someone had called and asked about what are some of the zoning areas in Lagos, Lagos State. So we just go through. Zoning is managed primarily by the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development. That is LASPPPA, Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority. We have residential zones. Residential zones are like Old Ikeja GRA, some parts of Lekki Phase 1, some parts of Ikoyi like Banana Island, and the likes. Some parts of then we have a medium density like Surulere, Magodo, Agege, high density areas, Ajegunle, Mushin, Agege, as opposed to residential zones.
When you said Ikeja GRA, I'm like, how?
How?
Because Ikeja GRA is flooded with a lot of businesses and residentials.
So it's meant to be.
Are they keeping to the rules? What happens when you don't keep to the rules?
When we do, in fact, we're still going to go into those questions about what can be done about areas where those rules are not recognized. We also have commercial zones, central business districts. We have, of course, Marina, Broad Street, Allen Okpebi area, some parts of Lekki, right? Strip commercial, that is Lekki Ekpe Express Road, Ikorodu Road. Then we have industrial zones in Lagos State. This is mostly Lagos. This is Lagos. We have industrial zones in Lagos, Ilupeju, Axis, Agidingbi, Apapa. I think we all know about those ones.
Agidingbi, Apapa, Ilupeju, yes, to a large extent, yes.
Ibeju, Lekki Axis, that's the free trade zone, refinery and seaport. Those are heavy industry areas.
Give that one 5 to 10 years. Because they just started.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, we have mixed-use zones like Victoria Island, and then some parts of Lekki Phase 1, mixed-use. Although the mixed-use is now something that we need to educate ourselves on. When they say mixed-use, what does that mean? Because I know you said chaotic and not chaotic. Because like a caller called last week and has said in her area or in her compound, someone sells gas. Right in the same compound as other, and this is not something that's strange to a lot of Lagosians in some areas. So now we've gone through some of the areas. I didn't even cover institutional zones. I mean, I think we all know most of that to be Alausa, Yaba, based on the universities that are in those areas, and then agricultural zones, Ikorodu, Ekpe, Axis. Okay, so we've covered some of that. So now, back to our question. Sure. When you say chaotic, and Nigerians, a lot of things is about education,
That's
right? And that's why we have shows like this to educate ourselves about real estate, because a lot of times you might acquire a property. Let's say you just acquired a property, it has a lot of uses, and then maybe you're trying to get tenants and you're having difficulties getting tenants. And some people, what you find is they don't get professionals. They just go out there and say, I have a space. They say, oh, you can go on this platform. They go and upload it on the platform. Someone takes up their units and the person isn't using it for what it is meant to be. All right. And that's what causes the chaos. It's the lack of information, it's the lack of enforcement and structure. So how do you advise that we can apply that, right? That structure in Nigeria? Where can we start from? All right.
So I think something great is already happening in Lagos State. So take, for instance, the Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority, LASRERA.
Yes.
They are working in conjunction with, I believe it's EGIS. And I understand now that if you go to the website of LASRERA and you go through EGIS, that you are able to see if a property you're trying to rent or buy has an approved plan, and probably what that plan is for. So I think that's progress. And if they will continue to do that, and of course take it beyond Ikoyi, VI, all the known areas to other areas.
So those other areas.
That's right. So I think is a step in the right direction, and I really want to congratulate LASRERA and EGIS for what they are doing. And that's part of the regulation that we're pushing, that real estate must be regulated in Lagos and
in Nigeria.
Well, once Lagos becomes successful, it can be applied to other states and then the federal government and all that. So that would take out most of the chaotic situations you have where people don't know what they are getting, compare that to organized societies and organized real estate in the United States, for instance, whereby you just have what we call APN, Assessor Person Number. You just put it online. It gives you every information about that property and what the zoning is. If you can do commercial or residential, what you can do with that, because everything is, that information is there.
It's data driven.
Absolutely.
That should be the future of real estate here in Nigeria.
Absolutely, yes.
So, I know so what about areas where the residents are already experiencing pollution, air pollution, even noise pollution? We just mentioned the fact that there's a lot of people coming in, for the holidays to enjoy the December season in Nigeria. And you find that some residential apartments have somehow converted to short-let units, and they have some tenants who are coming in here to party and they are constituting a nuisance in the area, there's a lot of music, a lot of noise. What then do you advise residents of those areas to do to help manage the changes or the use of other spaces that are not theirs, right?
Well, so every community, every resident, every tenant, every land property owner has rights and responsibilities. And you must police these rights.
As civilians.
Yes, as civilians. And the way to do it is to report illegal activities, because some of these activities might be illegal to the right authority. And I hope and believe that the authorities know exactly what to do, either to come there, shut that place down, especially if they are repeat offenders. I mean, if somebody does it one time, maybe yes, but the second and the third time, of course, is not acceptable. And so every it's not just having these regulations. is also making sure that these regulations are monitored and implemented. So I think it is important that tenants, landlords, everybody is responsible to carry out what they're supposed to do and report the illegal activities to the right authorities.
And the right authorities will be people that have to do with the environment?
Well, yes. I mean, if there's, for instance, if you have an industrial unit that is producing a lot of pollution, I think that should be illegal in a residential area.
It should be.
And so something like that could cause health hazards, and even cause loss of lives.
Yes.
Must not be allowed to happen. It should be shut down immediately. That's correct.
So last week we had also covered the topic of a community in Nigeria, I think Ogun State, that they found a factory had been manufacturing and polluting the environment, and all the individuals, all the citizens or people within that community had lead poisoning, a very high number in their system.
Blood system.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
And not just that, somebody else had also called that there was a cement manufacturing factory close to them, and the whole environment, there was constant soot in the air. Like if you park there for a long period of time, less than a day or for some hours, you can literally see the dust settling on cars and settling on objects and all that.
Sure.
And that's a very tragic experience for a lot of Nigerians that has been normalized. And one of the other questions that had been asked last week said, do we have environmental protection agencies in Nigeria? We do have environmental protection agencies in Nigeria. We have the NESRA, that's NESREA, the National Environmental Standards and Regulation Enforcement Agency. We also have state level SEPA, that is the State Environmental Protection Agency, and then as you had mentioned, Lagos LASEPA, Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, and FCTAE. That's in Abuja Environmental Protection Board. This is across the different states, and in Ogun State as well, they have Ogun State Environmental Protection Agency. These are bodies and agencies that can be contacted when you want to escalate issues
Absolutely.
And pollution in your environment. So now, this then takes me to the whole, you had mentioned where us as civilians and individuals of, you said tenants, owners, that we have a responsibility and a right.
Yes.
Right? So now, I want to tie it into the situation in the US, because you see, what you find is some individuals now use that as to personally bully or harass some other individuals, right? So you don't like the person beside you. You are aware that your environment is a mixed-use property, okay? And then you get law enforcement, or you call them and report them, knowing fully well that maybe they've done their papers, they have all the documents that they need to have their business running, and you just want to frustrate them out of that area. How then can that be controlled? Or is that controlled in
Well, first of all, there's some fundamental things that happen, for instance, in the state of California and Los Angeles County where I live. If somebody is trying to cite an industry in or a commercial activity,
yes,
within a certain area, they have to go through planning, zoning, approvals,
yes,
for those things. Now, if it is supposed to be an activity that might affect people's way of life, all the people in that area must be notified before the approval is given. If they have disapproval, now the company will have to come in and convince the communities that they are not going to be able to do what they suspect they're going to be doing, that they are going to be responsible members of that community.
Yeah.
So, and if on
like
the
a
other
campaign.
hand, that's right. And if on the other hand, they go contrary to it, now, as a resident, as a tenant, as a homeowner, you have a responsibility to call the actual authorities and report that illegal activity. Or if you don't know who to call, you can call your representative, your legislator, and report that activity, because they also have a responsibility to now take it up on behalf of the communities they represent. So because I think that is one thing that is not happening well here. Sometimes we have legislators representing us, but they're not really representing us. You guys must make sure that these people, because they're getting paid money for representing us, and you must make them work. You call their office and report such an illegal activity to them, and then they will take it up.
I think that's actually very insightful, and that's also builds on the fact that sometimes you might not know who the local government person is, but in most, especially in Lagos, in most estates or in most areas, there's some sort of homeowners association. It might not be as structured as it is in other parts of the world, but in Nigeria, I know, like Banana Island, they have what they call the Banana Island bipolar. Also, yes, they have the Banana Island. In Lekki, they have the same thing, Lekki Association. In certain areas, you have people who help escalate those sort of issues that they are supposed to. I think in Kota Villa too.
But you're supposed to be able to do it yourself as well. I lived in Lekki, and you talked about LASEPA, and I remember that when I lived in Lekki, there was the next building to mine. I was upstairs, and he had this Lister generator, so his pipe was pretty much facing my window. It was really bad, so I couldn't open my windows because every time they took light, and the place is so windy, so it's beautiful. I didn't need an AC, and so I had to, at some point, I called the attention of the owner. I called him a few times, tried to get across to him. At some point, his security guard became a menace. So I went to LASEPA, and I wrote to I actually sent him a message, said I am going to call LASEPA on you. And the second time I wrote to LASEPA, and the moment that happened, it ended. So really, it's that sometimes it's a question of we don't know our rights. Sometimes it's a question of we refuse to use our rights because we think, the Nigerian system, try it and let it work or not work first. Then you can say.
Absolutely. That is actually citizens' responsibility.
Yes.
And you have, as a citizen, you have rights.
Yes.
Especially if you're paying rent. Paying rent comes with rights.
Yes.
The landlord has rights, the tenant has rights. And also, that brings me to the new, I looked at that law, the new...
landlord tenancy law?
No, the landlord tenancy law that they're proposing in Lagos State. I think is a positive direction, is a positive step in the right direction. And I think that it's going to help both tenants and landlords in dealing with some of these things. It's not perfect, but it is a step in the right direction. And I think also the most important thing I like to highlight here is education. You as a realtor have a responsibility to educate.
Yes.
The legislator has a responsibility to educate.
Yeah.
So let's get educated on our rights and what we can do to continue to live well.
It's not, aside from the realtor, there are other real estate professionals. We're talking facility managers, valuers. Yes. They all have responsibility. We have another call. Hello? Hello, can you hear us? I think that call, we lost that call.
If you're trying to reach us, the number to call is 0805 092 0927, 0805 092 0927, or you can call 0802 502 7711, 0802 502 7711. You can also send a WhatsApp message, a voice note, a text on 0705 6900 927.
Okay, we have another caller. Hello. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Taiwo, calling from Shomolu.
Hi, Taiwo from Shomolu. How do you want to join today's conversation?
Okay, so last week, right, I tried calling for so I was going to ask about where I think Shomoli.
Okay.
Where is always Shomoli is full of printing press companies. A whole lot of printing press and there's noise pollution generator. These big generators, right? Everywhere. Yeah, there's no street against Shomoli.
Do you see them doing?
You see a printing press machine running or the generator. So
hello, I think we lost that call. We lost that call.
That sounds like what Sulere used to be. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
This is Antonia from Ojo.
Hello, Antonia from Ojo. How are you joining today's conversation?
I'm fine. Great. Thank you for the voucher.
Okay.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining our conversation. Okay.
The guest in the studio, Mr. Frank Oti, if I'm right.
Yes.
Okay, please. I would like him to. I would like to have a detailed tenancy law in Lagos State. I'm confused about it.
Okay.
You can actually check it from the Lagos State's website. Yes. So just check for the Lagos tenancy law. It's everywhere on Google.
It is everywhere on Google. A lot of the information that we need, even when it comes to knowing your zoning area, you can find it online. You just have to input that information and search for it. Or you can engage. I think we had covered the planning relocation planning committee. I'll get that name later. But yes, you can engage your facility manager, your realtor, your whichever professional, your legal property lawyer. You can ask them to provide in details for you on some of the zoning area, on some of the zoning use of the area you are in, the property you want to invest in, where you stay, and what your laws, what your rights are. Right, and the roles that you can play as well.
This is you assuming that she has a property lawyer.
Okay.
Not everybody does.
Okay,
so
then.
Just go online.
Just go online.
Bless you. Just go online and search for zonings in Lagos. You can search for something like that. You should find it. Lagos New Tenancy Law. You should find it if you Google.
Okay. So another question from last week, we had asked, okay, no, it wasn't from last week. Someone had mentioned about selling of liquor. I think it was actually Mr. Franco that had mentioned selling of liquor close to you. And I was laughing because I know that almost every corner in our areas, in our streets, liquor is...
Why are you going to every corner? Go to the security man, Megad. Yes, all those mala shops.
They are selling very strong alcoholic drinks. So, with laws, I think we actually do have those laws in Nigeria, right? In Lagos, Lagos State, I know that Lagos State, you cannot legally. Okay, we have another caller. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, your name and where you're calling from?
This time we're calling back.
Oh, okay. Hello, Taiwo.
So I really want to know how. So is Shomoli a residential area or a commercial area? And also, I understand the fact that. They also need to make money because tax, they need to make money economy-wise. People are doing business, printing here and there. They also have to make money. And Shomoli is like the printing hub. I think it's the printing hub in Nigeria. It's candid. So I really want to know how
Shomoli is actually a mixed use, classified as a mixed use zone. So Shomoli is actually classified.
I've not seen my voucher.
Okay. send your name and area. Send your name and area to the number. We'll announce the number at the end of the show. But Shomolu is actually categorized and classified as a mixed use zone. That is residential and commercial. However, though, I don't think the commercial.
I'm just asking. What's Sulere?
Sulere is also mixed use.
Mixed use.
Yes.
But so, what then? I'm sorry, I had to ask. This mixed use. How do you identify what sort of mix it is?
Yeah, that's the thing.
How does that break down?
So, normally is a zoning thing. So the planning commission, or I don't know what it's called here in Lagos State, has a responsibility to define what classification of mixed use they are. There are some places where you could have washer and dryer, public washer and dryer area. It's a commercial use. Now, you could also have things like sale of machineries and equipment in that neighborhood. It's a mixed use. So there's some commercial activities. It's not every commercial activity that can come into a mixed use zoning. So it's a function of what that mixed use is supposed to represent. Sometimes it's for convenience.
Yes.
You understand?
For you residents within the area.
To have small supermarkets and little things like that.
Yes, yeah. But I use liquor because if you have liquor, hard liquor, I don't want to name names.
Yes. Please, thank you.
40% and above.
Hard liquor. So you might have that not be part of a liquor store in a residential area. It could be wine and beer, soft drinks, grocery stores, things you can find in a standard grocery store. Yeah.
So a full liquor store is the one that has all the hard liquor.
Absolutely.
So supermarkets typically should have like
wine,
soft liquor.
And wine and beer.
They're
not really called liquor.
They're
called liquor, but not hard liquor. Not hard liquor.
Not hard liquor.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So, for Lagos State fiscal planning, to engage, know what the zoning in your area is. You consult the fiscal planning and urban development agency. So now that we've mentioned liquor, knowing fully well that almost every agency, every corner, they are selling liquor, and honestly, I think that also protects this. Because someone will say, "Oh, how does that affect residents in the area?"
It does.
But it does
Children.
It makes it because
you mentioned some of these agencies. I'm thinking that where liquor is concerned, things like Standard of Organization of Nigeria should also be involved.
Yes.
So they shouldn't we shouldn't be having the Mala shop selling.
So let me give you an example why these things are important. If you're less than 21, you cannot be able to buy.
Access.
In fact, you can't buy alcohol. As old as I am, if I go to buy liquor in a shop, they'll ask me for my driver's license to determine how old I am. So things like that are important to protect the citizenry, protect the young people, and all this stuff. So it shouldn't be available to just everybody.
National Orientation Agency, I remember there was a time that they were doing this, this ad was everywhere, where it was telling, a woman was telling her husband, "I've told you to stop sending our son to go and buy you liquor."
Absolutely.
Right? And so if you think about it that way, you will realize that it is actually not supposed to be that your child is going to buy liquor
and they
for
can even
you.
access it.
And that the fact that they have access to it is wrong on all levels.
Sometimes just the child going, even if that's not what they went to get, the fact that they can see it and they are curious and they're wondering, what is this bottle I saw in this?
That's too much information
too much information for them, And sometimes the store owner might not ask questions on who has sent them or why they are purchasing it. Yes, typically, traditionally, right, based on how Nigeria is. Right, the community, the village, the village raises the child. Yes, so yes, I know when we're younger, you can't just walk into any store. They will ask you, "Where's your?" They usually know your mother.
When you're younger,
they know. They know your mother. They know who sent you. Why are you here? And we have another call. Hello.
Hello, compliments of the season.
Compliments of the season to you too. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning. I'm Osai calling from Ogun State.
Okay.
This mixed use people are talking about, that means every area in Nigeria is mixed use. Because everybody that has a house just creates space for a shop, and then you can sell some emergency things. So there, every area in Nigeria is mixed use.
Well, not really. Mr. Frank, what do you think about that comment?
Well, I don't know about Nigeria, but, the truth of the matter is that, yes, from what she's saying, it is possible that everywhere is a mixed use, but sometimes, like I said, it's for convenience. I mean, if you need toilet paper, you should be able to
get one just because.
Yes. So in that case, it's good. So certain not everything that is good really is permissible. So,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I think it is important for us to understand that you are also trying to destroy your neighborhood by making everywhere mixed use. If at one time it's going to be chaotic. You're selling toilet paper now. Maybe tomorrow somebody is selling hard liquor next door to you, or tomorrow somebody is having a brothel next door to you. So I think we have to be careful what we do with our neighborhood, because it is important that we protect our neighborhood and that we are not destroying organized real estate and all the stuff. Yeah.
I think it's quite interesting to take. I think it's important to take this serious because everything you just said, absolutely. And Taiwo that was calling about printing press, I mentioned Sulere. I grew up in Sulere. Printing press was like every street, one or two. Yes. And on top of that, if you think about it, the downside is that one of the things it's going to do is that your electricity supply is going to. I know how many times you'd have the
transformer would
blow, there'll be fluctuation of light, and of course, the price of electricity will skyrocket.
That's right.
Naturally.
Demand.
And then you find issues where an area will just suddenly be cut off from electricity because of burnout.
A lot of people are lucky now. You don't have bakeries the way bakeries used to be. Bakeries, you would it's almost underground-ish. Yes, my father had a bakery when I was growing up, so I know. They dig, it's like underground. That's how it starts from that level upwards. So the heavy machinery we used to use for bakeries, the vibration through the streets. If you leave houses too, it is something. It is noise pollution. It's unhealthy on many levels. All pollution, my sister.
All pollution. Yeah. And there's a very sensitive question now, because I know that religious zoning, there is such a thing as that, right? So because what you find, especially in Nigeria, you find some certain religious establishments almost on every street. And I understand that some religious entities decide that, we want to be on every street in the country, which is beautiful, it's fantastic. But then there's also the issue of noise pollution coming from some of those establishments. Not just that, there's also privacy invasion, whereby they are parked along the streets, they are blocking the movements of residents of the streets. Sometimes they park in front of your house, and some people, it's a very tricky situation because they don't want to feel,
you want to offend sensibilities.
Exactly, to say don't block our car.
So that's important that you're mentioning that. So like in the United States, Los Angeles for instance, when you need a license to establish a church. Yeah. Okay. And it may not be allowed on certain streets. It may be on certain areas, on different streets, So, and you must meet parking and load in terms of people, how many people are going to be there and all that stuff, because you also want to make it safe.
And do they engage the community before they set up? Is this something, because you had mentioned earlier that some companies engage the community residents do they do that as well and convince them and say, okay, we want to come to this area, instead of just buying up a space? Is there like an actual engagement of people within a space to say, okay, we are coming here, so that you don't just wake up one day and find out that there's some religious entity beside your property?
Well, when it comes to a church, once you apply for a license, they're going to ask you for the address, and they're going to tell you if it is possible to do that or not. So it's not all the time that, because you might get a building and it's not approved because it doesn't meet all the requirements for a church. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. So with regards to, I think I want to go back to one of the questions I was asked about the zoning for one of the largest refineries that we have in Lekki-Epe corridor. The person had asked that, it's an industrial zone. What about residents that live within those areas? I think that goes back to kind of what you had mentioned, where residents give their consent, all right, or are fully aware of why they need to move to that location, or move away from that location. So they are aware that, okay, there's a refinery in this area. Either you work with the refinery and you want to live close to the refinery, or you want to provide some sort of business or services to the members or staff of that refinery. I know that in Lagos, with regards to, we have about 500 meters / 1 kilometer buffer for core industrial zones. Okay, so we've had such a very exciting conversation. We'll be going in and out of our conversation, and we're just going to go on a quick break. Today's segment has been powered or sponsored by Prindex Properties. They have a serviced 2-bedroom for sale at Quick Lane Estate, Lekki, Jakonde, Axis. If you're interested as an agent or an investor, please call 090-6158-4749. I'll repeat, 090-6158-4749. Let's go on a quick break.
Real Estate Matters with the Real Estate Doctor and his co-host, King Ray, on Super FM 92.7 Lagos.
Every Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon.
This show brings you an understanding of the business of real estate. Follow us on our socials at real_estate doctor and at ray.realtor. For sponsorship and advertisement, call us on +234 802 735 1727. Powered by Media House Promotions and ODOT Communications. Real Estate Matters, only on Super FM 92.7, where real estate matters. 92.7 Super FM.
Welcome back to Real Estate Matters, and you're still with your real estate professional and host, King Gray Realtor. And with me in the studio, all the way from California, Los Angeles, is Mr. Frank Oti, the Global Ambassador to the National Association of Realtors, NAR. And we've been talking so far about mixed-use commercial property in residential areas. The numbers to call to join the conversation are 080-509-20927 or 080-250-27711 or 080-297-88003. You can also call on WhatsApp 070-56-900-927 or 090-37-142-798. Okay, so we still have lots of questions for you, Mr. Frank Oti. Our next question, I know you've already covered the fact that we as civilians have a role to play. What role can civilians play to help protect our neighborhood?
Well, so there's what is called the pride of ownership and pride of neighborhood.
Yes.
Is inherent in everybody. But so if you like to live in a decent environment, you have to also police it yourself to make sure you see it, you report it if it's illegal.
See something, say something.
If you see something, say something. So that's the way to continuously. I remember when I was moving into a neighborhood in Los Angeles, the neighbors even ran my license plate to see the kind of person that I am. I didn't know about that until after the fact. So I think it is important that we also are particular about people moving into our neighborhoods. You don't have to stop them, but at least you know who they are, because ask questions. And then even somebody, if you're moving into a neighborhood, you got to find out who are the type of people that live here, what do they do, and all kinds of stuff, because you want to be in an environment where you are safe and your family is safe. So I think it is.
So you should know your neighbor.
That's right. Yeah. So just, when you do business, you guys say what you know as KYC, know your clients.
Yes.
So something you got to know your neighbors. You have to know your neighborhood, so it is important. The same rules.
And that builds on the fact that when you're getting a place to invest or to move in, you should work with a professional, right?
Yes.
It's not just about moving into a service apartment is ideal, but even if you can't move into a service apartment, you can work with a professional to help you get your space. Professionals are not just to search trek through the streets of Lagos and Nigeria to find a space for you. They also help ask the right questions on the zoning, on your neighbors. So the KYC is that's know your customer form is a two-way thing. Yes. When they ask you for it, you can also say, oh, please, can you do a search, provide information on who my neighbors are, what kind of what are the businesses around my environment, so that you understand, okay, this is what's there and this is what isn't there.
They may not be able to give you information on who your neighbors are because that's privacy, but they should be able to at least give you some data on crime and other things that has happened in the neighborhood and all the stuff.
In regards to data, we have data deficiency here in Nigeria. You say to be able to provide data on crime or issues or any of those things. That's a very that's another topic on it.
You're getting there step by step.
True.
Regulations will be able to eventually deal with all this.
I guess with platforms like
Lacera.
Lacera, we can start to build from there.
That's right.
With states and then with the country. Hopefully one day we can have something like the MLS that's
multiple listing service
that's available in the US, because I know that on MLS you can use that to also get insights on the property, the value, and some of the other features within the area.
Well, so for instance, NAR has the PRP, property report, that you can access if you're a member of National Association of Realtors.
Okay.
That gives you, that's for the United States, but they're also trying to see if they can go beyond the United States and have that data.
Yes.
For everybody, because it is important. We use that a lot these days.
I know that Ghana they've connected to the NAR platform, so they do have the
their properties are put on
the Realtor.com.
The Realtor.com International.
Yes.
Yeah, international.
Okay, so this will take me to my next question. What role can professionals play with regards to mixed-use residential commercial properties? That is, myself as a realtor, or someone as a real estate, as a valuer, or a facility manager, across the different aspects of real estate, developer, across different aspects of real estate. What is our role as real estate professionals?
So your role is to educate and to inform, and to represent your clients to the best of your ability by giving them all the necessary information they need to make an informed decision. Because an educated client is probably an asset. So if they know, the more they know, the better they are going to be good and very good clients. So you have a responsibility to continuously educate and guide them so they don't make mistakes, because if you serve them well, then they'll come back a second time. If you don't serve them well, they dump you the next time. So because, people are going to buy real estate and have need to sell real estate and, acquire more, as the case may be. So you have a responsibility as professionals.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we are getting to the end of today's show, today's segment, Real Estate Matters.
Sure.
We're just going to go through our news headlines, and then you can we'll just chime in. You can, if you have any insight on any of them. Lagos State orders street gates to be open from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. The Lagos State government has on Tuesday directed communities operating gated streets to ensure that all gates are opened daily from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. during the festive season, especially to ease traffic flow across the state. The government also ordered owners of gates and other structures erected on public roads without approval from the Ministry of Transportation to remove them within 7 days. We have a very big issue with security. I'm going to go to the gates part, but we have a very big issue with security in Lagos State, although that's being resolved, right? And so because of the issue with security, you find a lot of homeowners take it upon themselves, and tenants take it upon themselves. As you mentioned, they have the right responsibility to protect themselves and put up gates in certain areas to protect who's coming in and who's going out. However, some areas might have abused this, right? Because there are sometimes you're driving through a street, you've been driving it for the past 1 year, 2 years, and suddenly you go there and there's a gate. Not just any gate, they've locked the gate, and there's no response, there's no direction, there's no sign.
Well, there's a danger in that, because if somebody is having an emergency and they're trying to get to the hospital and the gate is locked and somebody dies, that's a liability big time there to whoever,
to whoever has decided that they are gates.
That's right. So it is important that we be careful how we do these things, take laws into our hands, especially on a public road. It's not private.
It isn't.
Yeah, sure.
It isn't. Yeah. Okay, so another Nigerians are scared to invest in real estate due to insecurity. Dr. Oluwatoba Akinriade, treasurer for Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, Redan, Oyo State Chapter, has noted that insecurity issues in the real estate markets are limiting sales, causing rising land and house prices. Weeks ago, there were reports that some real estate agents were kidnapped during a site inspection, causing panic in the market. Reacting, the expert said it's a bad signal that doesn't encourage sales at all. He added that a lot of diaspora clients are a bit afraid of their investments or to invest more in Nigeria. I think that's a very unfortunate situation. It's about increasing security in the area, which I know that Lagos State is doing, and other states as well. Federal government fulfills housing land pledge to Super Eagles for AFCON 2023 performance. So the federal government of Nigeria has fulfilled its housing and land pledge made to the Super Eagles after their performance at the AFCON African Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire in 2023. Okay, don't know, we can I think that will be where we will wrap up today. But today, this segment has actually been very exciting. Thank you all for joining in the conversation. Of course, Mr. Frank, do you have any quick input before we wrap up for today?
I think you're doing a fantastic job. You guys, keep rolling, keep educating the clients, and keep taking real estate to the next level.
Thank you so much. I know we couldn't pick all the calls that we had, but next week, please feel free to join our conversation. Thanks again to our sponsors for today, Prindex Properties. As mentioned, they have a service 2-bedroom for sale at Creek Lane Estate, Lekki Jakonde Axis. Please call them to be an agent or investor on 090-615-84749.
Thank you very much. Also to you, King Ray.
Yes, it has been amazing. See you all next week, Wednesday, same time, 11 a.m., same station, Super FM 92.7. I am your host on Real Estate Matters, King Ray Realtor.
All right. The news is up at 12, and right after that, The Switch takes over. My name is Shoma BBB, the big, bold, and beautiful. I will be here again tomorrow at 6 a.m. Goodbye. And thank you, sir.